Hello and welcome to 2024 God-Sized Roadmap. I'm very blessed to be sitting, chatting with you now, audience. It's been a little while since I've checked in, so I just wanted to let you know about some of the things going on with the podcast. Some people have asked me, hey, I haven't seen anything in a while. Are you done? No. I am not at that point yet where I would like to hang up my microphone. I still have so many wonderful things I wish to do with the podcast. And in fact, quite the opposite. One of the reasons I've been taking a season off is to look at things better and to have a better direction and a plan for all of this. For a good season of the podcast, I haven't really had a plan. I've kind of just gone with whatever. Here's an episode, there's an episode, here's 2-3 episodes. And it was really exhausting. And I wanted to take some time to rest and pray over all of this stuff and ask myself if it's meeting the need that it started with, which was sharing the glory of God with others, hearing stories from the saints and sending them out to people. And I think it's still doing that, but I was getting jaded by some of it, of primarily the process of all of it. So it was nice to just rest. And I had some great conversations with many of you about how the podcast has encouraged you, how it has taught you certain things. And that has just relit a fire under me once again. And I had some really good, encouraging conversations recently with other people in the creative space especially that are doing things for the glory of God. And it really encouraged me to ramp things up actually a little bit more. And I've been planning things and I've been writing stuff down. And those of you that are close to me have seen this recent resurgence of excitement. One of which is this new technology that I'm using now. If you're watching the video version of these, or have noticed I've been doing a lot more videos, is because I have a new software I've been using that a former guest of the show has turned me on to, that has made my life so much easier for recording these, for editing these. The editing time has dramatically gone down, which is a blessing to this. But I just wanted to spend a few minutes now just laying out a roadmap for what the rest of 2024 is going to look like for the podcast. Because as I said, I've been super excited and very encouraged by many of you, and mostly by God, in seeing things that he's been doing through the work of the podcast. So first, I want to talk about the new schedule, because the schedule over the last couple of months, especially into 2024, has been non-existent. That has been in prep of my own pipe dream of returning to every week is coming back. I started the podcast with that hope in mind, as it could be something that could be an encouragement every Monday for you as a listener to just lift you up. Maybe on your drive to work, maybe on your lunch break, maybe you got home and Monday was a long day. Monday's always a long day. I'm recording today on a Monday and it's been a long day. Just something to just remind you that God is doing great things in the kingdom. So we're going to start off every month. The first Monday of every month is going to be a testimony. We're just going to hear the story of how God took a broken human and made them into his child. We're going to hear stories of prodigal sons. We're going to hear stories of people born in the church, became believers at a very young age, and we get to celebrate that. We get to hear people from all different backgrounds of life and celebrate with them that now they are a child of God. That is how the podcast started. That will always be a core identity of what the podcast will be, our testimonies. I love them. They bring me more joy than anything else, is to hear about how someone became a believer. So that's week one. Week two, I'm very excited. We're going to hear about some God-sized ministries. I already have so many lined up, so many recorded already, where we get to hear about the work that God is doing in the kingdom through specific ministries. I've been blessed to meet so many people that do different things, between writing books, between doing different ministries, where they get to share their heart with you. And these are, once again, people that'll be local, people that'll be international, all over the place. And you can hear about what they do. You can hear about how you can get involved, and most importantly, how you can pray for these ministries and these people doing ministry. I'm super excited to bring these to all of you. So we'll have testimonies, ministries. The third week are going to be just our classic stories. I've had the blessing of having so many different stories on here from just different experiences that people have had. We've had pastors on selling snippets of sermons that they've given or missionary trips that people have been on. So many different ways that God has advanced the gospel out in the world through his saints, or things that have happened to us and God's carried us through. I'm so excited to hear more of those and share more of them with you. Now, the fourth week is something new, and it's going to change on occasion, and it's just what I'm calling my mini-series. My first mini-series, which is actually going to go all the way through 2024, is going to be called God-Sized Hobbies. In God-Sized Hobbies, we're going to get to hear from everyday believers, everyday Christians, about their hobby. And we're going to answer a few questions. 1, what is the hobby? What are they doing? What fun thing is it? Number 2, how did they start that hobby? But then 3 very important questions. How does God provide rest through your hobby? How does God grow you through your hobby? And how does your hobby provide opportunities for either fellowship or outreach? So I'm super excited about those. As I said, I already have enough planned throughout the rest of the year for God-Sized Hobbies. And then next year in 2025, I'll come up with a new mini-series. Reach out to me if you have good ideas. I'm always open ears. And for those random months where there is a 5th week, what we will do is I'm calling it like greatest hits. And I'll either re-edit an old episode, or repost it to a point where I'm like, hey, this is one of my favorites. Go back and listen to it. It's super encouraging. And that's what the schedule is going to look like now. And I'm so excited. And it sounds like a lot. But when I actually sat down and started planning instead of just reaching out and grabbing whatever comes my way, it started to get a lot easier. And it got to be a lot more comfortable when I started thinking about the rest of 2024. So if I think about it this way, I only need 10 testimonies. That's nothing. I can find 10 people that want to share how God has changed them. I need to find 10 ministries. Once again, people love talking about their ministry. And I need to find 10 stories, just great things that are happening out in the kingdom. That's way easier than just grasping at straws. And I've already been so blessed because many of you out there have talked to me about a lot of these things. Many of these episodes are already recorded and ready to go. I have such a beautiful backlog thanks to so many of you out there. But some of you might be wondering, how can you help? There's so many different ways that you could help that would be such a blessing to me. First and always and most important, prayer. I need your prayer. As I said, last year, I got in a little bit of a funk, and it was beating me down to trying to keep up with things and life on top of everything else. Because at the end of the day, this is still my hobby. I love this. It brings me so much joy. I'll get into more of that in the very end. But for now, just pray. Pray that I can see God in this, that I can be blessed through the joy of this, and keep finding people. Like that's always the number one thing, is that pray that the Lord will keep sending me people to record these awesome stories with. Other ways that you can help is you can be on an episode. I'm always looking to record more, whether it's in person with our small microphone or whether it's online through technology. I am always happy to record with more people. Your story is important. As I said from the beginning with the mission statement, everyone has a story. Everyone at least has a testimony. If you're uncomfortable giving your testimony, totally understand. Not everybody's an extrovert like me and can sit in front of a microphone, sit in front of a camera, and just talk. I want to help you refine that. I want to help you be able to tell your testimony, because it's such a beautiful way that we have to evangelize. When the world sees you as a changed person by what God has done in your life, they want to know more. It is an attractive thing. let me help you share that with others. As well, besides testimonies, if you have ministries that either you are a part of or you have connections to someone who is in one and they want to share about what they do, send them my way. I would love to hear from them. And then if you want to record a story from your life, as I said, it's kind of like the testimony, but different. Like whether you've been on a trip or whether something hard happened to you or something interesting is happening in your life right now, I would love to hear about it. So to get through the end of the year, I only need 5 or 6 more testimonies. I need 6 or 7 more ministries and 3 or 4 more stories. And we're done for all of 2024. That's very obtainable, especially with your help. 2 final ways that you can help if you're looking to help. I will always take more people following on social media, whether it's the Facebook page, whether it's my Instagram page. Soon to come, I do have a Twitter or X account. I've not posted on it yet, but soon is the plan to start posting it. All 3 of those will be below. But as well, I have a YouTube page, which if you're only listening to the audio versions of these, you've missed some really exciting video ones. Totally understand that a lot of people want to be audio only. I will have some coming up, especially with the hobbies episodes, that will be, you will lose some with it being audio only. But you could still, they'll still be there. You could still listen to it audio. But go to the YouTube page. It's below. Or well, actually, you're watching this on YouTube. So, like, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It sounds silly. You hear every YouTube person say this, hey, subscribe. Actually do that. It really does help bring more traffic to the page for people that don't know it. And then finally, put a review. If you're listening to this on an audio, whatever audio it is, if there's a way to give it a review, please do. Because once again, like those services pay attention to that, and the things that get more reviews, they will start pushing out to more people. That would help me way more than you can understand. And the final way that you can help right now is I'm going to make another episode soon with me interviewing myself. A couple people have asked me to do this, and I thought it was really silly and really fun, and I really want to try this. But what I need from you is questions either about me, about my life, about podcasting, things you want to know about me. Type them in the comments, shoot me a text, shoot me an email. Let me know what you want me to answer to myself. And I'm going to interview myself, and it's going to be really silly and really fun, and I'm really looking forward to doing that episode. But I need questions. I don't want to come up with only my own questions because I want to know what you guys want to know. And to end our time today, I want to celebrate. There is a big milestone in my podcast journey that I want to celebrate with all of you. We're just about to hit 10,000 downloads of the podcast. I would have never thought that 5 years ago starting this that we would have gotten to this point, and I've been so blessed. And those numbers are almost primarily the audio numbers. That's not really factoring the YouTube numbers. Or if you've noticed recently, I've started doing like on Instagram, making reels and posting those. That's not counting any of that stuff. I'm just counting audio downloads. So thank you for that. Like when I say at the end of every episode, I couldn't do this without you, it's not just a lie. I fully believe that. If I was just sitting here talking to myself, well, I'm sitting here talking to myself, but if I knew there was nobody on the other side, it would be demoralizing. I know you're out there listening. I know you're out there praying. I know you're out there hopefully growing from some of these things. And I thank you because I've been growing from this so much. And that leads me to saying, as I said earlier, this is my hobby. It brings me nothing but joy, and I love that it brings me nothing but joy. But I've always had this inkling in the back of my mind that maybe it could be more than my hobby. So someday, and this is my plan of one of the reasons why I want to return to every week, someday I would like to look into maybe this could be something more. Maybe this could be something that could turn into a job or turn into something that at least generates my family some income, which would be a huge blessing. but in the heart of it, never changing that this is the thing that brings me joy. This is something that advances God's kingdom by hearing the work of the saints, by hearing the transformation of the saints. So if you have ideas for me for that, once again, as always, I'm all ears. I will listen. I'm glad you're listening, but I'm the one that is excited to listen to all of you. So thank you so much for everything you've done for me already. And as always, I couldn't do this without you.